Okay, so Friday close, I covered that in a video, pretty quick video. This video, I'm going to do the portfolio update just very quickly. Remember, gold closed pretty much a high of day. I think it's the best close ever. It's not just a numerical number, it's more like closing a high of day, opened at low of day. Obviously, there was the Powell Fed talk, dovish stuff. We're going to cut rates almost guaranteed in September. The market knows it, the market likes it. Everything went up on Friday. I just have a little hesitance as to what happens when they actually cut, because remember when they started raising rates 2016? Sorry, end of 2015, beginning of 2016, or I forgot when, but when they started to raise rates, that's when gold took off. That was the bottom. And here they're going to finally cut rates. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I don't know. Everything is priced in. I don't know, but it feels like we're moving up towards the fact. This is the buy the rumor, and will there be a sell the news event in September? I don't know. But either way, for now, you got to respect gold. Best close ever. I was selling the miners because I thought that this market flush Japanese yen carry trade would not rebound as much as it did. It has. You got to respect the market. You got to respect that you might be wrong. I think I was wrong. Whether the market will sell off in September because they finally cut rates, that we just have to wait and see. Silver, look at that close, better than gold, right? Again, open at low of day close, far better than the other day. So that kind of confirms that gold probably also had a better close than it did a few days ago. To me, if gold just wakes up Monday, whether it's Asian hours or European or US hours, if gold starts to move up, I think silver's going to catch up. So gold, there's no resistance. It's just, probably 25.50, right? Big round numbers. So 25.50, what does silver do? It's probably going to start to catch up. So gold goes up 1%, silver will probably be 3.5 or something. Maybe hit its head on this descending. If we go down, I mean, the old lows down here will hold for silver. Let's call it $29. For gold, it'll be 24.80. For the miners, I think if we start to move up, we're going to hit our head on overhead resistance. So GDXJ, maybe 2-3%, hit our head on 49. SILJ, that's got a bit more room to run. Honestly, might as well. Maybe that's a bit too much. And this is a bit too easy. So probably something like $13. But yeah, the target is going to be the old highs of 1340. GDX, that's a bit like gold insofar as we're pretty much at all-time highs. So this will just start to run to make new highs, $41. That'll be your next target. Now, with all that said, let's go look at the actual miners because they had a nice day. I would have preferred they actually had a bad day, but it looks like we just keep going up. That's why I've still got a very decent core holding. It's light compared to what it normally is, but my portfolio is pretty much at all-time highs, just a little bit lower. One more decent move up and I'm probably at new highs or old highs. But I don't mind being a little lighter and having some on the sidelines because I still have that little expectation that the market drops. It's just non-stop higher highs, higher lows. This yen carry trade, is that the last of it? That's it. It's just down up because the BOJ just retracted its decision. What about the rate cuts? Isn't inflation going to go crazy? What if it does? Will everyone start to crash markets because now it's going to be a surprise rate hike? I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too far in the future. In the end, I just know that gold's going to keep going up. Inflation's going to still be there, so I've still got my core holdings. Okay, Newmont popped its head above new highs, closed at the best highs ever. We're above 52. Next stop is it's going to have to be this old high, right? It's 52.80. That's pretty easy. What if gold starts to run? Run like silver's up 3.5%, like I said. Maybe we're going to go for this 55 zone in Newmont, maybe. If we go down, well, I guess the old high is going to be support as it already has tested, but that's quite close. Otherwise, I got this zone here. Otherwise, the ascending, I'm going to have to move this up, something like here. Got to guess how long it takes to get down there in case there's some surprise crash. But 55 really, because this 52.80 is a bit too easy. Keep it simple for Newmont. Newmont's had good news. It's been depressed for ages. It belongs all the way up in the 80s, so you don't want to sell too much. I have trimmed on the way up, but I have a very decent holding, so no plans to sell, maybe unless we get to 55. they'll take a little trim. Okay, Barrick Gold. This one also belongs way higher, hasn't moved up as much, although it's had good news very recently, and that's exactly what it needed to just break out of this low zone it's been in. We took out, you know what, I can finally get rid of this. We definitely took this out. Maybe I can keep this in case we have a flash crash for support. This is your next support. Where are we? We're here. Next target is 21. Basically up here. Yeah, we already popped our head above it. We need to close above it. But if we, again, gold starts to run Mondays on Monday, 25.50, silver starts to squeeze a little bit, you know, 3%, you can expect Barrick Gold, which is definitely the trend is your friend up. It's in an upward trajectory. This, actually, to be honest, once you take out 21, there's really not much until, I have to think about this now. Maybe 22.4. Well, how much of a move is it? Let's say from where we are. Oh, that's a bit too much. Okay, 21. Okay, 21 is definitely your first target, definitely. But after that, maybe something like here, maybe 22. Keep it simple. 7% is quite a lot. But again, it's not really a crazy resistance. There's really nothing until here. You could stop off at 22. I don't see anything really until your little 23.5 zone, which is quite far away. Maybe up at 20. I'll leave it. I'll just leave it. To be honest, it deserves to go way higher. So once you take out 21, it's a bit like gold. There's not really much resistance, but in this case, it's until 23.5. That's how I see it. Obviously, it'll stop off on the way. Maybe it's going to be 22, 22.5, depending if the GDX encounters resistance or something like that, or silver. And because of silver encountering resistance, then gold does, and therefore the miners do. But let's keep it simple. 21, and then up we go. The support will just be the horizontal lines on the way down. I don't see it going below 1950. And if it does, then good. I'll be buying some back because this is a buy the dip candidate. We've seen a lot of these, the ones that are going up. The dips will be bought, definitely. I can think of EGO. I am gold at the moment. That hasn't happened yet, but that'll be a good one to buy the dip of. Agnico-Eagle, another one. These seniors are monsters. They're just really, really friendly to the portfolio. Agnico, new high, popped its head above. Best close ever. I suppose so. Next stop is 84. We're already there, to be honest. 84.4. I remember this. Look where we hit our head over here. Yeah, go on. Let's just make it really obvious. Look at this. Look, we hit our head 84 point. This one was 6, 84.5, 84.5, 84.5, 84 point. Sorry, 85.4, and this one 84.4. So me, it'd be 84.39. Also, this was the last one, 84.39. I've got to sell in there. So that's where my next sell is. That's pretty close to where we are. Let's see. It's like a little 2%. That's easy. That's too easy. Next stop, honestly, you might as well go for the old high. 7%, bit like that Barrick Gold hit. But just to be sure, I've got 88. What was before this one? Yeah, you got 88 again. Yeah, I'm just trimming as it goes up. Just little trim, little 2% out, 2% out, 2%, 3. If I really think it's going to dip 5, because I've been cutting my way out non-stop, but I still have a very, very decent amount in there. And that's just the way it goes. That's the way I do it. I like to have some on the sidelines. And it's earning me a nice 5% interest at Interactive Brokers anyway. So yeah, here, then 88, and then you could do the all-time high. This is the all-time high. But at that point, once you take out this 88, I mean, this is too easy anyway. So I'm going to leave it as it is. 84.4 and 88. And by the way, 84.4 means I'm selling at 84.38 or 39. 88 means I'm selling at 87.89 or 87.99. Next one, Panama. Did I talk about support on Agnico? It's the old horizontal, bam, all the way down here is 78. If we keep going down, it's going to be the ascending support, right? So it's going to be here. I wouldn't really be aggressively buying because it's just constantly going up, but it depends. Here, I probably would buy a decent amount, but not too aggressive because honestly, there are probably other areas that are just better buys, you know. If we're going down for a reason. It's probably across the board. Pan America, look at that, the descending. I want silver to go up and hit its descending, but it hasn't done that yet. And I feel like if gold runs on Monday, silver will, at which point Pan America will definitely be required to move all the way up here. You know, a 3.5% move in silver, that definitely justifies a move like 8% in Pan America. So 20, and anyway, it doesn't matter. Your next real resistance is here, 23. I don't really see anything else. 2.5 maybe if it's asking too much, but otherwise 23. And after you take out 23, then you're gonna have to move up to the old high of 24 point something, 0.2 probably. So those are my two levels of resistance, the two horizontals you see here. Support, obviously your first resistance is closing outside of this descending, which we haven't done in 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 trading days. Support, well, I would say here, but it's so close to where we've been. Yeah, but you could go down there. It's about to close though. So actually, I would still say 20.5. You close below 20.5 as long as the whole sector is going down. Also, down we go to 19.5. 20 is no support. There's nothing there. In fact, there never really has been. So 19.5. After that, then you're talking about 18.5. Between 18 and 18.5. So I might as well just color it in. This, and to be honest, this on your way down. And on your way up, bam, bam. That's Pan American. I'd love to buy Pan American back down at 18. I mean, it did its gap fill quite well. And that's where I sold across the board. One lot of everything, just, you know, out 5% or something. And it kept going up when I sold more. And some of them have gone all the way up to old highs, as we've just seen, right? Newmont, Barrick, and Agnico. Next one, Wheaton, another one that's gone all the way back up. Okay, resistance is only one. It's 63. It is the absolute all-time high that it's recently put in. We close above that and we just run. I've got no levels after that. It's gold has no levels. It's going to be stuff like resistance on silver. It's going to be stuff like big round numbers, 64, 65. Maybe the GDX chart has its own resistance. Those would come into play, but otherwise, there's no resistance after 63. The support, I feel like that's a little level. And then after that, it didn't really count. I'm not sure. Maybe you could say something like 58, because the move all the way down to here is quite a lot. I just do something like that, but I wouldn't be too aggressive about getting back into Wheaton. I think there'd be better areas. And to be honest, I don't think it'd go all the way back down to 56 anyway. Next one, Franco Nevada. Wheaton is just a monster. It's exactly why I employed it. Franco Nevada, this one I can get rid of. I can tell it doesn't work. Yeah, the resistance is very clear. It's this 125.5. So that's your resistance. Little gap fill there on Friday. Support. My goodness, that's hard to call. Well, support is 114, that's for sure. But in between, because to get to 114, you got to go down 7%, which is asking a lot for a monster company like this, which has had bad news recently and rallied off it very quickly. So actually, just looking at that and knowing that, I would maybe even suggest something like 118 could be support. Look how many times we popped below it, but you know, we've closed above it each time, even on bad drops. It's a round number. I don't know. I mean, I'd be buying above 114, but I've got enough of it. So honestly, you could also say something like Thursday's low day. This is really being a bit zoomed in. I've got nothing ascending. That's all I would do. But I'm not buying here. I'm not here. I would really think about it. Down here, I would though, Franco Nevada, definitely. Otherwise, resistance, yeah, 125.5. And after that, it's really 130, right? It's 130. Yes, it could stop off before and all that, but that's what you want to close above 130. And you might have a chance doing that if gold starts to run Monday morning. Metalla finally starting to do a bit of a move up 4.5% on Friday kind of stood out compared to the others. This is just this unbelievable. This should be way higher than 4, and here we are, unable to get to 3. For me, the sell is just below 3. I think I've got a small trim at just below 3 because I haven't sold much of this at all because it's just way too low. But I think my first sell is going to be here at 3,299, of course, which coincides quite closely with the descending, which is probably here. So once you close above, let's say 310 to be, and there you're not even sure because my chart could still be off, but look, we're talking about this descending. So I don't want to be, saying, oh, it's closed above 3. If you close at 312, that's it, we're on, in case I'm off by a millimeter. But you can see what I mean. You close above there, 315, I think I'd be a lot more certain. Then it's squeezy time possible as long as the sector's with you. And then it's really 350 only. I wouldn't be, because normally after, closing above the descending, let's call it 310, it'd be like the next high, something like this. I'll leave it in anyway. But I'm not going to hit every high after that. I think I would just go for 350 because this thing should be squeezing with a vengeance. So, although it's done very little, this slight outperformance is encouraging because it's coming at a nice little pennant time where it's getting tighter and tighter. And yeah, the descending, right? Let's close above the descending. I got $3. Close above the descending, then this little 330 stop off point, then 350. And after 350, it's $4. I don't need to mention that. It's quite obvious. Support. Should be about 270, but you know what? This one, you may even have an ascending support. Let's do that. Something like this, which on the daily will look really steep, but I'll add that in. Then 270, which is very close anyway. I'll just leave it, down here, the old lows. Something like that. I think it would rally before it gets to the lows, 250 probably. But anyway, I just don't want to put too many lines in there. Next one is First Majestic. Now we're hitting the silver ones. This one, not so bad news. Lower highs, lower lows, goes all the way down to its old low. This is the low since the rally. Can you imagine we visited there? I bought this dip, but I also sold everything I bought into this move. Some of it early here at the 5 something, if I remember correctly. The rest up here for the absolute revisiting of prior support. And it went above. But obviously, everything rallied a bit more than I thought it would. Now I'm going to put support here, right? Let's say support is 563.2, something like that. If we lose that, then yeah, probably some. There's not clear support here. It's just because of what happened here, and because the move all the way down to where there is clear support, 440 is too far away. You're not gonna be dropping 20% like that. So I've got a bit of a halfway point here. Well, there's probably more. Anyway, I'll leave it there just because of the respect I've got to show for this period. So support on the horizontals, resistance more, which is more exciting. Well, it's gonna be probably here because you're filling the gap and you're filling the gap and you're encountering this descending. So I'm gonna say, and $6 is a nice psychological number. So actually, maybe it's about $6 between 6 and 610. If I can say that, if I'm allowed to cover 10-cent range, here-ish. You start to close above 610. Well, this will be easy, but that'll be your first stop off point. Maybe 630 or something. Because you can see it hit it 3 times here. And after that, maybe there's something happening. Maybe there's a squeeze. Maybe silver's doing a big move to catch up with gold that's running. And maybe you can justify a move all the way to 680 in First Majestic, which is still not exactly a crazy move. It looks crazy when we're zoomed in, but this is First Majestic that's seen the 20s before. So 680 should be possible. And then we'll see. I don't think we're going to do better than 680 next week. But that would be the real target. Something like that. Whatever. Looks like I've drawn a plane now. Okay. Next one is, I'm going to remember this by heart, Fortuna, which is also on a bit of a first Majestic. So it's, lower highs, lower lows. On bad news, rallied quite well, took out this descending, held the horizontal. This is really nice technicals. Took out the descending, retesting, and now holding horizontal, which is, I think, pretty clear support. At least it was in the past, and at least it is now. Let's call it 480. And now the plan is what? Well, the plan would be to basically test 540. So there's your resistance, 540. Before then, you could say there's something, but I think we can leave it. How much of a move? 10%. I think if silver's doing a 3.5% move, gold's running, I think 10% is okay. You can do it in 2 days. You can do it in 2 nice days. 1, 2. And the chart suggests it's possible. So I'm not going to put a halfway point. Your first resistance is really to take out this high that we put in the last 4 days. So $5. So really close above $5, and it's really from 5 to 540. But that should be going without saying. And then after that, it's a gap fill all the way to here. We can definitely remove this ascending line. And we could even take out this descending. It's done it. There you go. That's what I'm looking at. Support on the way down, also quite clear. I think that's quite clear, actually. So to see what happens, place my cells if it gets there. CDE, very nice. Rallied, filled the gap, went higher. I sold the gap fill. I sold, I think, everything I bought in CDE from the drop. I sold by the time we were testing 6. And then went higher, and I trimmed some of the old position just in case we started to really flush, because that's kind of what I thought might happen. And here, the cells have been removed because I think if we move up, this is a very strong stock. This will quickly take out 680. I don't even know if I got a 679 cell. If I do, it's tiny. It's just symbolic. But after that, it should be 750 if I remember. Yeah, there's like nothing, even $7. I'm looking back here, there's nothing there. It's just 750. Obviously, the real sell is up here. It's 762, but 750 is already quite a big move. So I'd sell 749. Plus, we visited it here, 743. So I'm just going to say 750. So there's your resistance. The old high at 680, then 750. Support on the way down is just going to be the old levels. This is pretty clear. It's been clear resistance. It's been clear support. So $6 after that, I'm going to say about 550, keeping it simple. And then the old low, that's CDE. Next is Hecla. A stronger rally than CD, but it had good news. So boom, straight away gap fill. I didn't sell that because Hecla didn't have enough value in it to justify a sell. Kept on going. Then I started to sell. I forgot where. It's probably, I think it was on this day here. It's like 560s. I thought that'll do. I think we're going to come back down. And then up we go. Probably the best day it's had the next day. And now we're testing pretty much the old highs. I trimmed again because the value is just increasing, and it's now in line with what they're all kind of in line. CD is worth a little bit more, but they're all in line. So Hecla, let's call it 625 resistance. What you really want to do is clear this 635, like a close at 640 or higher would really do it. And then you can run for 7. And I've got no sells in until 7 now. I'm light. I've done my sells, made some good money, got some good profit. And now I'm just sort of, there are 1 or 2 stocks here that I cover where I've got a small sell here and there, but it's very small, and it's really nothing strong until a decent level higher, because by then the stocks will be worth a lot more and the move would have been pretty impressive, and now it justifies a decent sell. So resistance is 635, since we're already at resistance. So I'm going to move that up. I've already sold this move. 635 and then 7. There you go. A close above both, and you move to the next one. Support, I mean, I don't know. The only clear support is the one really far down. I don't think we're going to get there, but I do see a little ascending, very steep support. Oof, does that even work? Something like that? No. What if I ignore? Maybe something like this could be acceptable. I'd also say 590 maybe. Just from here, 590, yeah. Okay, the old low from the last trading days. Let's see what that looks like on the daily. Okay, so you got this ascending and you got this 590 low. That'll do for now. And if we flush and close below, then we'll see where we settle. You know, I think if we do move down, it'll be a bit more obvious later how far we can go. And you can always use silver, SILJ, GDX, even gold, because on the way down to identify support. So we don't have to be stuck on Hecla's chart if it's not obvious. EXK, yeah, first Majestic, Fortuna and EXK, they're the silver stocks that, okay, have had really good runs, but have now recently got really weak charts because of the bad news. So EXK has done like many of the others. It's done the gap fill, it's moved a bit higher, and now it's at prior support, which is kind of acting as a resistance, but here it's trying to close above. I think it did. So you can say it's capable of trading within the next range. And for that, I've got basically between 330, let's call it, and 380, just because that's the open high of day of one of the bad news days. I think it's a bad news day, but you can see what I mean. Because if we don't have this horizontal, where's your resistance? It's going to be the old ascending, which by the time you move all the way up is going to be above 4. Well, by then you're already encountering this prior resistance, price support. So yeah, I think this is very correct. I think for 380 is maybe just below 380 is resistance if you start moving up. And after that, normally you'd expect 4, maybe 4 is a little resistance on intraday, but I think 420 should be stronger resistance. And after that, we'll see. You know, it's going to be little places like 450 and then 480 and then 5. But yeah, let's see if we can actually even meet 380. But that should be our next resistance. Support on the way down. I have no idea. Well, $3 could be 280 could be. I think there's a bit of a ascending resistance, but maybe not actually. Let's see. No. It's not perfect, so I'm gonna leave it out. We'll see. You know, 3 and 280 probably. Mag Silver, but I'd get out of the way. EXK could really flush all the way back down to its lows again. So Mag Silver, this one, first resistance is really the high of the week that it wasn't able to close above. So 1380, but really it's about 14. It's really 14, but I can be a bit more specific because let's do the old high, 1430. Let's close about 1430. So 1380, obviously 14, and then 1430. And after that, you can finally entertain the idea like 1585. On the way down, support. Well, you got the old high of the week, the low of the week. So that'll be 1323. And then, yeah, something like this, 1250. And then the old low. I think that's good. Keep it simple. Don't know if we need to do anything like the ascending. Maybe something like that. That'll coincide here. If you have a drop, bam, close above 1320, then you move down. Maybe that's useful. Right, next one. ARMN. Look at this. This is my weakest holding. Now it's worth like the others because it's moved up. It's moved up above 480. This is really important, I reckon, because move above 480. Look at that. You were hitting levels from all the way down here long time ago, you know. I don't know where you have resistance after this. 5 is not really resistance. 520, fine, a tiny bit. But then you're moving up $6. Go on, let's look over here. You got a little something at 586 maybe, but otherwise, you know, 6, it's a huge move. So this one here, and I've sold a lot. I've trimmed a lot of this one, a lot. I kind of used it as you know, I'd made money on this one easily. This is just stronger than everything. It launched before everything else did. So whenever I was in down, I thought something would go down. I would just, this was an easy one to sell. But it's still worth a decent amount. And it's capable of having a nice move up. So I'm just going to watch. I'm holding off on any more sells. Support on the way down. Well, this is just too close. I wouldn't be buying here, but this should be a bit of support. The first real support 450, I would say. After that, maybe the descending retest, maybe. I probably wouldn't trust it myself. $4, maybe. Down here would be super strong. I don't think it would ever get there again, actually. But if it does, that's a serious buy above. Well, sorry, I'm in 380. Yeah, this one I think is just going to keep going up though. I am gold. This one is tired. This one should be very tired. Look at that move. Yes, it's off good news. Yes, the sector went up, but this is just a massive move. Basically from 350 all the way. That's 50% in like 2 weeks. This one I've trimmed, obviously. Your first resistance is where it's just tested already, 540. You want to close above 540. It's actually 535. But let's just say a close above 540 will take you. Wow, I love it when you have to zoom out of the chart to see the next resistance. Well, it's hard to do, but it's good news. So 535, you take that out, then it's 560 is too close. Maybe just $6 actually. Then probably something like this, right? Just move it down, not to miss it. 635, yeah, 635. Okay, I'll apply that then. Oops. So 6, a little editing here, 6 and 635. And then after that, you can talk about 7 to 720. Wow. On the way down, well, actually, your first support is going to be the last resistance I had in place, 460, and that's still quite a move down from where it is, over 10%. So 460, that might be worth buying. And if it does keep going down, then 440, 435, and that should be a strong buy, because this should be a really nice buy that did candidate. And I'm going to leave it there. I don't see it going lower than that. So that's I'm gold, B2 gold. This one I have not trimmed at all. Actually, I think I trimmed a little bit at 285 just because I was convinced everything was coming down and I wanted to sell something and everything, but very small amount. Otherwise, my plan, almost promise, was to sell nothing until up here. Well, look, here are the levels. It doesn't mean I'm selling it. I've already sold 285, tiny amount, almost meaningless. Next move will be to go through 3, and I think 305 is resistance. But really, I might sell something here. I'm not selling anything until I get to the test of 320. And by then, maybe we're starting to test this descending again. Very important long-term one. Probably will take another move up to test that. So I don't need that. I know exactly where it is. So yeah, I would say 320 and then the descending. That's really your resistance. On the way down, you should have some horizontal. Yes, here about something like this. 265-ish, and then the old low, which is very, very strong support. Multi layers of support there. Okay, Equinox came all the way back down to this ascending support zone. Bounced nicely, kept going way more than I thought. As with all of them, $6 is resistance, of course, in the very, very, very short term. That could probably taken out pre-market on Monday if we keep running. It's about this 6. It's not 620, it's 615, but I like 620. I like the 20-cent range after you take out a unit, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 620, close above 620. And to be honest, no point in stopping off anywhere other than the old high all the way up here, 650. So that's it. 620, 650. On the way down, yeah, I would say support is around here. 560. If you keep flushing, then yeah, this is just a rough zone. I want to try and be quite precise here. 5, 5, of course. That was the low from down there, down there. You got a few hits there, and it's a psychological number. And then you got the ascending support that keeps going. So yeah, those horizontals, everything you need on the way up, on the way down. Here, I wonder whether it'll stop off on the way, but let's see. All right, that'll do for your Equinox SSRM. Now, this one's really interesting. This is the one that goes up. This is the one that can go up when everything's going down, and vice versa, can go down when everything's going up. It does move with the sector also. You can see that it came down. It was looking really weak relative to the others. And then it was stronger than I thought. And honestly, I never thought it'd get to 550. I think I even said it will never get to 550 in the short term because it had bad news. The sector went down. I thought, my God. And it did. Obviously, I trimmed 549. And here we are closing at 560. And now it looks, this is an interesting pattern. Let me try and, here you go. This is all that matters, really. First of all, okay, let's get rid of, let's try and clear this up a little bit. It's all about this little level here, 570. You close above 570. There's only one level after that, and that's this. Yeah, it's 590, 590 something, 593 or something. If you close above that, and you honestly, you're testing 590, you'll probably go straight through 6, close above 6 on that same day. But if you can close above 594 or whatever it is, that high, there's nothing. There's no resistance until $8 and then the gap fill at 8, basically $10. Now you're closing above $6, you're going to run the next day as long as the sector and everything's favorable. Yes, you will hit some resistance, and for me it's just going to be every 50-cent increment, 650, 7, 750, 8. I've said this before. SSRM is very close to doing that. Technically, I don't know if there's news that's coinciding. The chart has a way of coinciding with news, but this is looking really good. And it'd be a shame if everything flushed. I want the sector to go down because I've sold a lot and I want to buy more. But at the same time, I'm really looking forward to this move because it'd be a shame to lose momentum and ruin the chart again. So resistance 570, 594, and then nothing. I'm just going to say nothing, even though it's 50-cent increments. On the way down, I could probably draw a 15-minute ascending, which is okay, something like that. Actually, that's quite, whoops, what happened there? That's quite accurate because it hits several points, so that's quite credible, right? It hits there, kind of hits there. It's nearby here, hits there again, so that's quite good. Probably better than the horizontals, but there's probably one or two horizontals that can be trusted, like around 5, a rough one, and then down here, I'll just do one in the middle of those two. Delete this one, a rough one. See what I mean? That's SSRM. I'm really looking. I've got my eye on this one. And finally, SBSW. Uh, should be rising way more than it is. This one, I always move this box around. I'm not doing anything until it breaks out or breaks below the box. Put it that way. Yes, it'll probably go here and find some resistance, but I'm just going to leave that like that. Let's just let the box do its thing. Go on, let's keep going. Eldorado. It's been a while. So this took out its little level over here, back tested it, so that was nice. And I remember this resistance. Let's zoom out and see it again. That's this resistance over here. Yes, after that you got a little just before 20, and then you're running. Yeah. Okay, we'll take out your last high. That's your first thing, 1840, and then let's see if you can take 1880. Then you should run to pretty much 20. Support is there. After that, support will be the old low. Maybe there's something here also, this little gap zone. I'll do it in the middle to cover it. There you go. I don't think we'll go back down to the 14s though. Kinross. Let's move this up. That's your high. We can delete that. It went straight through that many times. Not sure, not sure. We got something here. Let's delete that. It won't come all the way back down to 8. She could, right? What's that, 10? Could. Maybe there's something here also, this sort of, I feel like this area here, 840 could be a zone. It seems to pick up some nice support around there every time it goes back down there. Also, it's quite nearby resistance here at 830. So between 830 and 840, I'll do something like this. So yeah, take that out and then run to 10. After that, you got some support here, and of course down here, which we'll never see probably. Next one, Goldfields. This one's interesting because this one took a smash in the face on Friday. I think it was bad earnings. It was going down before already. So whilst everything else has gone up. And look, I checked this out on Friday and I added some tram lines here. So you got one here. Yes, I am going through here, not touching the pivot low, but it hits here and it hits there and it's quite nearby there. And then you got the one that really hits the lows. So this tram line I like. This is definitely horizontal support to be respected. After this, I mean, you can forget these. This just, even though it's correct, it's just, it makes the chart harder to read. This I can get rid of. Let's clean it up. Let's clean it up. This is going to be your resistance if you even get there. This is your next one. And then you've got a gap fill. By the way, you just had bad news. So good luck taking out the bad news and climbing. So I think that's all you need for now. You should have some support here also. If you are going to venture into the tram zone, you can be pretty confident around here at 1350 because you're hitting this long-term support here and it's the low from there, so that I would be really confident buying there. I just know it would work. And otherwise on the way up, well, if you do keep going low, then you have to fill the gap you've just created. But otherwise, if you keep going up and you take out this, which would be really hard to do, that in itself would be a level actually. And look at that, that seems to coincide quite well with there. And then you got that gap fill. There's quite a lot. There's quite a lot going on there, but these levels are quite easy to read, I think. I mean, I'd be confident trading the levels I've just put there. Really confident. So interesting, Goldfields. One I always have respected. I've been in it for long. I was in it for a long time. Where was it? I think it was here. I really, because it was, what was it? It was Yamana deal, I think. And then in the end, Pan America bought it. So these guys really rallied and I sold that move. Nice. I was in the 16s if I remember. I think it was there. I think it was this move here. Anyway, I'd love to buy it back even cheaper. Unbelievable. Nova Gold. This is the one that squeezed, the one that's done the move that I'm hoping B2 Gold can do. I don't really look at it too much, but yeah, it did this pump and here it's gone sideways. Fair enough. Let's readjust the levels. So resistance is 480. Support is 409-ish. This we can ignore, although it was very relevant. Look how far back that went. Actually, I'll leave it out of respect. The ascending may come in handy if we start to flush this 409 or basically $4. That's the real level. Yeah, you could end up coming somewhere like right here in the middle of the X. I think that's all I'd have for now. After you take out 480, because that could definitely happen, then then you're probably testing something like 550. You go straight through 5. No one cares about 5. Then it's going to be, yeah, it's either 530. I think 550, actually, for some reason. I think it'd be something like that. Before you start visiting 650. I don't see any resistance at 6. Yeah, that's Nova Gold. Next one, Harmony. Oof, get rid of that. And this is your new resistance. That's your current support. That's quite nice. After that, I would move this up to there. This ascending actually could come in handy. Yeah. Interesting. It's come back down here whilst everything else is going up. It had a red day. Don't know what that's about, but $10 should be pretty good. Pretty clear support. Can you go back and take out 1150 and run? Where do you run to? Probably up here, 13 something, 1330. Otherwise, you come back down here and pick up an 850. That'd be very strong support. Anglo Gold, nice. Haven't seen that in a while. Look at this descending. Oh my goodness, going back a long way, over a decade. So from all the way up here, almost $60, we hit through here. We hit through here, and looky, we're starting to hit there. That was your resistance. Just below, don't be too greedy. It can always happen just before. Then you have this resistance. Yeah, you can see that could be a bit of support. There was also resistance there. So actually, let's call it, there you go. Let's call it $30. I'd say $30 is a bit of support. If you keep going down, just wondering whether we have something here. Maybe that will help. It's quite a difficult one. I would say there's something there. What is this about? That's a weird one. Is that actually something? Interesting. Look at that resistance. Ascending resistance. That's pretty rare. And that would be a retest. I don't know, I'll leave it in because it looks good. But I think the point is around 27, you should have support if you go down. Otherwise, it's all about cracking this 33 and running. And if you run, it's to 38. Very interesting. Okay, that's it. I'm done. You know what? Let me look at Gato, something I was asked to check out before I forget. Well, it's definitely on the gap fill. So with the first thing, take out this little 1340, run to your old high of 1450. But actually, the real high is over here, 1460. And then what? Then you've got this one here, 1525. And then you're running up to 18 before there's some gap stuff going on. Oof, yeah. Which is 19 and then 20. Yeah, 19 and 20. That's quite easy to remember. Okay. What does that look like now? And then you've got 19, 20. Is that this thing looks like it's squeezing quite nicely, so could be possible. That's a nice move though from 1530, pretty much just green light all the way up. That's a nice run. Support. Well, first is your support of the week, so here. And if you lose that, maybe the 15-minute can help. Not really. This is a hard one. The support is difficult. Is that gonna help? Maybe something like that. And then it comes down and then $12. I don't know anything about this one, except it's moved nicely over this year. Very nicely, actually. Jesus, very nicely. Can it keep it up? I don't know. All right, that'll do. Very, very long video. I hope you appreciate it. Let's see what happens. It's all about well, not necessarily Monday, but do we keep running with gold? Does silver catch up? What do the miners do? Do they catch up also with silver? I mean, in line with silver against gold? Do we go down? What about September? It's very close. What happens there? that's why it's about managing your whole portfolio. You know, what if it goes down? I'm ready for a move down, but I'm also looking forward to some moves up. So anyway, let's see what happens. Thank you.